Right then, this is Fate, Undiscovered Realms, made by Wild Tangent, the sequel to a game called Fate. It's a Diablo ripoff, essentially, a dungeon hack and slash game, but with randomly generated dungeons and missions. As you can tell, there's not very much customization in the main hero. In fact, it's just as much as the original game, and that wasn't exactly brimming to the hilt with customizable options though. You don't really get to select your character class because it's all very freeform, so you can develop your guy exactly how you want. You can also choose if you want a dog or a cat as a pet. Anyway, there is a storyline, but people don't really play these games for storyline. It's not this game's strongest point, so I'm just going to skip it. The first thing that any veteran Fate player will notice when they pick up this game is, in fact, you start off in this giant hallway. Essentially this allows you to pick which village you want to do your main quest in, because you now get a choice out of 2 main quests. This guy isn't offering me a very good reward for a main quest, so I'm going to go to the other guy and see what he's got. And that's really what you got to play this game, really. You got to sort of pick and choose the quests that give you the best items, or that the closest to your current level. Because you can keep descending into the dungeon. You just go into one dungeon, you keep going down and down and down, and essentially you can go on forever, which is the great thing about this game. Anyway, as I mentioned, all the quests are randomly generated, so I'm just gonna have to go and collect some. As you no doubt probably noticed, this is pretty much like Diablo or whatever. Villagers have shops. They have places where you can gamble your money for decent items. They have places where you can enchant your weapons and armor and remove gems and all that other sort of crap. But the good thing about the game is, like, it's not so traditional. There's not all human. In fact, there are loads of animals roaming around in town, which is quite good. And now I'm about to show you the fishing. Fishing is quite important because it can transform your pet into other animals. The dog is alright, but if you want an animal with a real attack power, you need fish. And basically, as soon as you feed your dog fish, depending on what kind of fish, it may be turn it into a different type of animal, and it may be either for a time period or permanent, depending on the fish again. One thing I must say about this game is the presentation is very good for an indie game. I mean, it runs well on most people's computers, and other than the Wild Tangent stuff that comes bundled with the game, which is kind of annoying, this game's a pretty well put together package. I mean, the music's good, the sound's good, the actual the graphics, they're all 3D and it looks really nice. Anyway, now that I'm done collecting quests, I'm actually going to show you what it's like to dive into a dungeon. Right then, this is the actual dungeon. Remember, it's all randomly generated, and I've just fed a fish to my dog. He's now turned into a massive snow wolf. Yeah, that's badass. Okay, these are the very well animated enemies. They're all 3D. There's a ton of enemies to fight, from vampires to ghouls to giant enemy crabs. Hit their weak spots for massive damage, etc. As you can see, this basically plays like any normal dungeon hack and slash. You go around, you randomly beat the shit out of stuff, and you collect the loot, just like giant moving pinatas, really. I wonder how Rare would consider doing a Viva Pinata version of this. Anyway, yeah, so basically you go around beating the shit out of stuff. There are plenty of environments to choose from. Right, I'm showing you how to... Basically, you just pick up spells from the ground, or buy them from shops. Slow isn't a particularly useful one, so I got rid of it. I probably did that by accident, but never mind. Of course, this isn't complete mindless violence. There are missions. I'm doing a mission right now. I have to protect that idol from being killed by monsters. This is actually one of the newer missions added to the Fate staple, so to speak, and it really shows that the actual developers were actually thinking about how they could actually push the series forward. These missions have to be quite hard if you're low level, because you don't really have the damage per second, so to speak, for to stop the onslaught of monsters, but you can keep retrying them, so it doesn't actually matter too much if you fail the first time round. It's also quite good for getting EXP, I suppose, even though the monsters don't drop any loot, you still get EXP for killing them, so it's not all that bad. Right, what I'm showing you here is the pet's inventory. Just closed it again, but basically you can give a lot of your stuff to your pet, and you can actually even send him into town to sell the items for you, although it takes him a while for him to sell the stuff and then get back to you. Anything up to 2 minutes in the later levels, so you best pick when to do that very wisely. As it happens to be a very useful feature though. I mean, the ability for your pet to actually carry items, because it means your inventory is free for decent items. Fate Undiscovered Realms at the end of the day is worth the 15 quid that I paid for it. That something that might hold people back is the lack of inherent multiplayer, but you people who made Fate realise that, well, you know, people like to compete against each other, so they made hardcore mode, which is lifted directly from Diablo 2. Essentially this means your character can't die. If he does, well, that's it, they're dead forever. And you also get graded on score by items and experience and monsters killed, I believe. This gives players the ability to compete against each other, but without actually having to be in the same game, so to speak. I also must warn you that hardcore mode is very, very hardcore. It's very, very tough. Anyway, there's nothing that really I can say about this game other than if you really like dungeon crawlers, check it out at www.fatethegame.com. Anyway, this has been Danny from Low6. I guess I'll see you guys around. Bye!